A very good evening to everyone. On behalf of HSBC, I would like to welcome you to the session on banking, finance, and managing foreign exchange risk for MSME. Let me introduce our speakers for today. Our first panelist is Anurag Tripathi. He is the country head for MSME lending business in HSBC. Our second panelist is Aditya Lakhanpal. He is the director in global market corporate sales, that is treasury in HSBC. And third panelist is Mr. P.N. Shetty. He is the CEO of RupeeBoss. The moderator for today's session will be Gaurav Jethwani. He is the regional head for Western India for MSME lending business. Once again, do post your questions in Q&A session at the bottom of your screen. Without further ado, I would like to call upon Mr. Gaurav Jethwani to deliver the opening remarks and start the session. Thank you. Gaurav, over to you.
Thank you, Ronak, for having me on this discussion, and welcome all the panelists. Very good afternoon to the audience as well. MSME as a segment is the buzzword, whether it be the government taking initiatives to showcase and to promote growth in this segment, or whether it be lending institutions wanting to focus growth of their lending assets in the segment. With that as the background, I would invite Anurag into the discussion. Anurag, can you throw some light on HSBC's focus and strategy on the MSME segment? What sort of products does HSBC have to offer, and how can it help MSMEs meet their financing requirements, which will enable them to grow and become bigger in the economy going forward? Over to you, Anurag.
Thanks, Gaurav, for bringing me in. This is very, very important question that you have just picked up. And let me just give you a bit of a landscape of what MSME financing scenario or landscape is all about in India. So, Gaurav, as you would know, that there are about 6 odd crore MSMEs registered in the country, and their total financing need is to the tune of about 85 trillion INR. And just guess what is the actual organized sector financing to this sector. It is just about 15 trillion. So out of 18.5 trillion requirement, about only 15 trillion comes from the organized sector, which is both banks and other NBFCs. So the entire 70 trillion gap is being filled by the unorganized sector in this segment. So what we need to do is clearly that a lot of inclusion has to happen in the organized sector. And HSBC is definitely endeavoring towards that. We have offerings across the spectrum that an MSME may require. So this is a wholesome bank that we have here. HSBC offers products across the spectrum that an MSME may need. And it has been growing its lending book by 40% on a cumulative basis year on year for the last 4 years. So clearly the commitment that the bank has is very high to the segment. And Gaurav, you would again be very happy to note that whenever this pandemic set in, HSBC was the first bank which allowed all the clients to avail the government guaranteed ECG scheme as well. So there was zero rejection across the spectrum. And as far as the product offerings that you asked about, Gaurav, on the lending front, we have Indian rupee lending on the short term, as well as the term loan piece. We do have loan against property, which is a very important proposition for us, which is small ticket, quick to market for clients which are relatively smaller in size. So effectively targeting the micro and the small sector, where the need for the finance is quick, but the financials may not justify cash flow based lending. So for those clients, loan against property is a very important proposition that we have on the secured lending side. Similarly, under the secured lending, we do have working capital finance as well, which is again small ticket, quick to market, 15 days end to end. We want to bring the finance to the table of a micro and small enterprise quickly so that they can address their need very quickly. We do have entire trade solutions gamut available to MSMEs. We have the cash management, liquidity management solutions, treasury management solutions. So effectively, the bank believes that an MSME of today is a large corporate of tomorrow and a global corporate of day after. So it is a relationship bank which believes in catching them young and making them grow. So effectively, everything that a bank can offer, HSBC offers to MSME and more. And just to come to that, I mean, HSBC is not only a banker, it is offering beyond banking solutions. So what is that? We intend to work as a partner to these clients. Therefore, there are solutions like Zoho Books that we are bringing to the client, where the client can switch their entire accounting to this platform and make their lives much easier at a much better commercial offering. We are bringing tax solutions through our partners, ClearTax. We are bringing cloud-based solutions through our Amazon and Google partnerships. So we are trying to offer everything that an MSME is looking for and more. And overall, the reach that we have, we want to bring that as well to our clients' use. So overall, as I mentioned, Gaurav, we intend to serve our clients the best possible, and MSMEs are at the heart of everything that HSBC is looking at. So that's where we are.
Thank you,
Gaurav.
Anurag, for these inputs. I'm sure the audience really sees value in what you said, which is essentially, HSBC being there even during difficult times of COVID for MSMEs as a support to them, and also the comprehensive package that HSBC brings to the table, which is not just loans but also accounting packages and support through other programs. So thank you for that, Anurag. I would now move to Aditya. Hi, Aditya. Welcome to this webinar. As part of the global markets team, I know that you cover the entire spectrum of corporates, ranging from MSME to a large conglomerate. So basis your experience of dealing with them, and with the background of the geopolitical scenario that the world is seeing right now, how do you think a MSME can learn and adopt from the best practices that large corporates deploy to manage currency risk? And how can HSBC help them execute and achieve their risk management plan?
Sure. Thanks, Gaurav. Maybe I can just start out with a bit of an overview on what's happening on the currency. We've seen a reasonably steady range on the rupee. It's been very, very steady in a 72.5 to a 75.5 kind of a range. In the short term, if one was to think of what are the factors that could impact the rupee, if one thinks of local factors, clearly the buildup of FX reserves by the central bank has kept the rupee fairly supported over the last year and a half. The FX reserves in the last year alone have gone up by almost $200 billion. And contextually, this is, India is now the fourth largest reserve holder around the world. Therefore, there's a fair bit of confidence that most market participants have on the rupee on the back of this. The other thing to look out for is the current account deficit. India is a country that typically runs a current account deficit. At this point, it's reasonably well contained at about $2 to $3 billion a month. If that widens up, that could potentially point to rupee depreciation. The counterbalancing force, on the other hand, though, is capital flows that we are continuing to see to come into the country in the form of foreign direct investment. It's been quite robust this year as well, after a blockbuster year last year. So potentially that's positive for the rupee. And in terms of global factors, if I were to single out one or two, I would say it's clearly the potential tapering of capital flows by the likes of Federal Reserve. The entire stimulus that has been provided by central banks over the last few years has been unprecedented. And we could see some of that extra stimulus begin to go away. And just like in 2013, it could start impacting FX markets, including the rupee. When it comes to risk management, I just think the mantra is consistency. Doing the same thing consistently over a period of time, having a very well-defined risk management policy in place really makes a difference in the long term. HSBC has global market specialists who work very closely with MSMEs and help them identify risk, help them hedge their risk. So if you have a risk management need related to foreign exchange or rates, our global market specialists will be happy to assist you with those. Thanks, Gaurav.
Thank you, Aditya, for these inputs. I'm sure after the webinar, our audience here would also want to reach out to you separately to discuss their hedging needs on a bespoke basis. So we'll arrange for that. Thank you so much, Aditya. Hi, PN. Thank you for coming on to this webinar. So PN, you and your firm RupeeBoss has been helping MSMEs manage their financing requirements through banks for a very long time. How do you think a MSME borrower can benefit by getting associated with a foreign bank like HSBC? And what role would RupeeBoss play in getting the MSME borrower the most optimum loan structure?
Yeah, thanks Gaurav for the opportunity with HSBC. If you talk about RupeeBoss, so we match the credibility of the customer with the right bank or NBFCs. So we are a platform with about 87 bank and NBFCs on our platform. So we sit with the customer, understand his needs, and depending on his needs, we match corresponding bank or NBFCs. So all these SMEs, what they have 3 to 4 basic needs: maximum loan amount with respect to their property, which they are giving it to us, and the turnaround time and the best rate they can get. Right. That's how we choose a bank which can give him the best rate, maximum loan amount, minimum turnaround time. That's how we help our customers. And we're there in Pan India in about 100 plus locations. So even that helps. So even if the customer has multiple offices, we can cater to him. And our experience with MNC like HSBC is that your product basket, right? And obviously competitive rates. Plus your exposure to global market. You have seen SMEs in multiple countries, how they behave. Maybe you may be having access maybe a few years in advance what's happening in other developed economies and what's happening in India. Even that helps in your product innovation and the speed of delivery. And the people who are associated with the product, so they are well trained, and that helps us a lot, right? So and particularly with HSBC, we have disbursed I think 4 or 5 transactions already in just 2 months time. Experience with even at customer level, they're extremely happy about your service. Yes, Gaurav.
Thank you, PN, for this background, and I completely agree with you that for the client, what matters is the team that's delivering the solution to them on ground, and that's where the experienced team of relationship managers, the product suite that HSBC brings onto the table, really provides a value add to the client. And with with working with RupeeBoss has ensured that the two teams at HSBC and RupeeBoss deliver a synergistic solution to the client. So completely agree with you on that. Thank you so much, PN, for joining us today. And with this, it's a wrap up.
Thanks, Gaurav.